So I've been working on this concept here as it's being revealed to me. I think this is going to be like a part one of whatever ends up coming of this video. But the more that I'm looking around at like phrases and things like, you know, prince of this world, okay, this is a war against evil in high places, principalities and spiritual, whatever. I'm not prepared. I don't have the Bible verse, but it's a Bible verse about that. What exactly is that saying? His gift to us has always been, like they're, the people that aren't saved call them the Anunnaki. We call them the fallen angels. They have given us gifts of technology. And, I was like watching a video last night. I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I just was watching some stupid horror movie about an airplane. It was ridiculous. But I was just thinking about how, we've gone from the chariot to, we're flying over cities now in basically buses with wings. You know what I mean? Who gave us that technology? He did, That's why the Apple computer was $666, the symbol of the Apple computer. It's all about technology, and that's his thing. That's what they hide behind. Fallen angel, alien technology, whatever you want to call it, Operation Bluebeam. So what I'm seeing is, they say They Live. He said it's a documentary. I believe Roddy, Roddy Piper, whatever his name is, obviously was involved in Freemasonry, working at the WWF at the time. They Live is a documentary. What does it show in They Live? It shows the elite being, the shape-shifting, reptilian, fallen angels, demonic, interdimensional entities, interdimensional aliens, interdimensional demons. It's not intergalactic. And Joe Rogan's talked about this before too, and so there is something to this, and there's, words to throw you off and in fake videos, but there is something to these shapeshifters and frequencies and sounds and, things being manipulated by accident digitally on camera, or them not being able to hold the frequency for long or whatever. I don't have it down. And then there's also something to them actually being here in high places and mating with humans, don't get me wrong. A couple years ago, I would lock you up if you said this stuff to me. Now I'm starting to see the prison planet theory is, you look at everything, everything I hear is a medical commercial. Oh, if you have rheumatoid arthritis with frequent outbreaks, try Skyrizi. Side effects include, brain fog, instant death, loose morals, voting Democrat. I'm just saying, the side effects are like, how the fuck could you even, how could this even go on the market? So it is like, where do all these new diseases come from? They're constantly giving you flu shots and this shot and that shot, and new stuff is always finding its way. And it's like, obviously, and when you look at it, they don't look at babies like we look at a baby. You know what I mean? They look at babies like they just want to destroy God's creation, and what better way than to rip it out of the womb and use it for whatever they want to use it for, whether sexually or whatever. So and scientifically and all that stuff, and stem cells and injecting dead babies into people's knees to give them more vitality or whatever. So I'm just letting you know, this is something that I've been working on. I would call this part one. And, it's just kind of I'm slowly starting to see there's all of us, okay? And out of all of us, there's only going to be enough of us to fit into a boat. Do you know what I mean? Out of all the people, because the world was just like this. People don't realize, they think that the world was just Egypt and the Ark and there wasn't that much stuff going on. There were pyramids all over the earth at that time. Do you know what I mean? And even I just put that together a while ago. And it's like, they always talk about, oh, the Mayans just disappeared. No, they drowned like everybody else. You know what I mean? All these pyramids were all over the world. They were worshiping, like God said, everybody was worshiping Satan. They were manipulating their DNA back then. Noah and his family were the only people really, and I don't know if there was a couple friends, I don't remember, but, they were the only ones that weren't manipulated DNA-wise, because it said he was perfect in his generations. And that also comes into the rapture. Why would he save Noah from the tribulation? And he says it's going to be like the days of Noah. Well, if it's going to be like an eating and drinking and marrying, and we're going to be put aside, or are we supposed to drown too? You know what I mean? So that's why I firmly believe in the rapture, because Operation Bluebeam wouldn't even be a thing. You need the rapture for Operation Bluebeam to explain why all these people are gone. And I don't even think Operation Bluebeam is going to be a hologram. I think it's going to be the real fallen angels. I think there's going to be giants. I think there's giants now. I think there's land in areas of, the world that I really do start to think that they do hide people, that they put people in the game, like even Elvis. I'm just saying, theoretically, at this point in my life, I would say it's not impossible now that I see who runs the show, that they do fake people's deaths. You know what I mean? So who's in charge? He is. They are. Who are we? Well, we're 98% of us are dumb sheep. Even the pretend Christian sheep to think Trump is going to be some kind. They hide among us pretending to be us. You know what I mean? Like they walk among us. Like the song, I think it's a Misfits song, they walk among us. That's the easiest way to fool people, is to put that Christian, like Chick-fil-A. It's an upside down 6, the symbol. They're closed on Sundays. They put Bible verses on all their. Yeah, wow. You know what I mean? Groundbreaking. Wow, they must be. Yeah, they care so much about you. So they hide. And I always say you can tell these false preachers because they don't ever talk about salvation. You know what I mean? If they're popular. If they're a really popular preacher, they're probably not preaching the gospel, because the gospel got people executed. So I'm just telling you, they're not going to be Joel Osteen and all these other weirdos, And, it's funny, like even my friend Babylon Watch on his private channel put a thing out about, I'll just call them the blue and white team, that all the Christians go gaga for and donate all this money to people that already have billions of dollars. Do you think in the Bible, it doesn't say the people that killed Christ are going to be the most financially successful people in the world? It says you're not even going to know where you came from. So a year or two ago, I started making videos about Africans being the real, whatever. And here's a person of color making the same video. And, there's just so much deception. And I'll tell you, as a child, I used to have problems with my mom, because when I used to look at that star with the blue and white, I just said, I don't know about that. I remember saying when I was young, I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like young, like 3rd grade young. And she's like, oh, them are God's people. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm just telling you, I don't like this whole. I just knew, I had the Holy Spirit at a young age telling me stuff about the shape of the earth and everything else, So there's all this stuff going on. All of a sudden, the biggest thing is that there's something for free that they're giving you that should be, news flash to you, that they never want to give you anything. They want to take all your money, make you sick. They use multiple modes of delivery to kill you. They mess with your testosterone. They want to kill your kids. They want to, vaccinate everything. Who would want to do that to regular people? Well, think about it. Who's the most jealous of all these people? What type of people? And then you have the elite, So in a nutshell, this is going to be the start of what I feel like we're going to like delve into, and this is what I'm working on. I haven't really been focused on anything else, so I'm just going to put this one out, And we'll go from there. I'm just going to call this part 1. All right. And feel free in the comments to add, you know, anything, you know, that you feel like is, you know, a video, you know. And if you add a video, don't give me a 45-minute video unless it's the fucking best video you've ever seen in your life, and just expect me to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, give me a timestamp where there's something worth, you know, watching. You know what I mean? Like, I even do that to people. I go, listen, here's 2 timestamps. Watch it from here. All right. I appreciate all you guys. And you know, we'll figure it out. All right.